Well, a beautiful day getting set to go at Knoxville Raceway, the late model capital of the world, we keep saying here the next couple of days. And right now, you're looking here inside the Brian Clausen Suite Tower, brand new for 2018. And this has been quite the accomplishment for the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. And man, you can see right behind us here how gorgeous some of these places are, some of the suites here. And we actually have a cool guest going to join us here. One of the voices you've been hearing and will continue to hear throughout the week and with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, that is Mr. James Essex. And James, well, first off, your first time up here at the Suite Towers is not here last year. What do you think of it, man?
Oh, this is impressive. This is awesome. And, of course, growing up in Indiana, living in Indiana still, and Brian Clausen, of course, from Noblesville, Indiana, and such a tragic loss to the open wheel world and a couple of years ago. But, hey, man, this is, I mean, the people that have chipped in and donated and all this is terrific. What a great honor to be up here.
Now, you've been with the series for quite some time now. You only missed one Late Model Nationals. First off, how dare you? How could you do that?
Well,
but,
yeah.
I mean, but if you mean the memories that come back to you at this place specifically, I mean, there's got to be so many of them. McCready's 08 run, Burkhofer's we thought retirement party, but man, lots of memories.
Well, Tony Stewart's win. He probably should have won that one year and had some issues there. But, yeah, I've been every one of them except the first one, and it was a conflict. I was working with the Battle of the Bluegrass Series in Kentucky, and we had the Dirt Track World Championship down in Bardstown, Kentucky the same night. And we're here at Knoxville, the very first one. But ever since then, I've been announcing with you guys since 2005, so it's a long time. But I've been with the series ever since it started. It started as NARA in 04, then became Lucas Oil Bought it in 05, and I've only missed probably a couple races over the years because of some conflicts maybe, but it's always a thrill to come here. I mean, the racing is fabulous, like we said before. You can be leading one lap, and the next lap you're running fifth, or you can be fifth to first. Just a tremendous facility. The people do just a great job here. They're very nice, very accommodating, and like I said, to tell everybody, the late model people, they respect the sprint cars. They know this is a sprint car. This is their racetrack. This is their Knoxville Nationals for sprints. But I tell you what, this late model thing in its 15th year now, it's come a long ways. And no, we don't have 25,000 people like you had back in August, but it's the drivers love it. They just love the heritage here.
Now, you've been with the sport, as you mentioned, since it started here as far as Lucas Oil goes, but I mean, you have a long history in broadcasting in general. I mean, you had some appearances on that four-letter network, ESPN. You've been on there before, and now MAV, now Lucas Oil.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about your career in general with that.
Well, it started basically at Brownstown Speedway in Indiana. Back my mom, she used to write for the results for the local newspapers. And
what's the nickname for that place?
The house that Essex built.
Absolutely.
I just, such a long connection between myself and the track. I mean, I worked there for over 20 years, promoted for 4 years, and still my number one track. That's my home track. But yeah, my mom used to do the local race results, and this was back in the early 70s. And for those people that, today modern technology, it's easy to just whip out an email, But back then you had to take a piece of typing paper, put a carbon paper and a line-ruled sheet on it and staple it together and write out the results, write out the finishes of and all that, and turn them into the local newspapers. Well, one night I helped score, write down qualifying times, and the announcer didn't show up at Brownstown. So they let me do it. Of course, I'm 14 years old. And I knew everybody,
right?
But I talked, I was. You think I talk fast now? I mean, I was wound up then, and that just led to more and more working there, and had a partner there that worked with me for a while, and I went out on my own. And my first actual big race was an all-star circuit of champion late model race at Paragon, Indiana. Well-known sprint car track there in Indiana, and that was a big race. One of the first ones I ever did by myself, and through the years, worked Brownstown, several other tracks around that area, but Brownstown's always been my home track. But, me and O'Neill basically grew up. O'Neill grew up, he raced at Paragon with his dad, and him and his brother Marty started there in the late 80s, and now you've got Hudson, Hudson's come along, and it's just a tremendous heritage there at Brownstown. What one of the top tracks in the country, and but I tell you what, Knoxville, and having the pleasure to announce here, Eldora, of course, doing all the biggies at Eldora. I've done Charlotte, this one here, and I mean these it's just amazing that how things have gone, and just have a good time. And I mean, I'm like you. We're fans first.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know, we're announcers. Yes, we do. I sometimes get paid to do this.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
No,
yeah.
it's we always you know, everybody takes care of us all right, but we're fans first, and we'd like to see a good show, just like the people sitting in the grandstands, Chris.
Now, there are, as every announcer does, there are some great catchphrases you have. Of course, the one I always say is, you know, on a good race, "Are you serious?" Chris Crump. I love those ones. The catchphrases, where do they come from? Where do you get them at? Is that something that grows over time?
It just comes over there. You can't. I tell people you can't plan ahead on those. You can't write them down saying, "Oh, I'm gonna say this at a certain time." It just comes naturally that, you know, whenever you see something, it just, you know, I've never criticized a driver. I mean, you can go in there and somebody crashes somebody and it looks like it's on purpose. I might have done that a couple years ago at Florence. I did say something probably about a certain driver, but to me it was out of line what he did. And but otherwise, I mean, you know, he and I talked about it and we got it ironed out. But you know, you just got to keep it exciting. I mean, you know, you got to be able to sell ice to an Eskimo, as they say, you know, something like that to tell these fans. And it could be the most boring race in the world. I mean, 100-lap races sometimes are kind of boring. Sometimes. I mean, you know, sometimes, I mean, anywhere. I mean, you just got to make it sound exciting. And if it's a race for 10th or a race for 5th, you got to kind of do that. But it's... I tell you what, I enjoy it, and as long as I keep enjoying it and able to do it, then I'll just keep on doing it. I mean, you and I might be here in wheelchairs in about 30 years. I don't know.
Absolutely. Now, remember this, young kids out there wanting to get into broadcasting and calling races.
Right.
Calling races and calling races only does not always pay the bills. You got to have a job outside of that, and that's what you do. You have a job, full-time job in sales.
Right. Now, I'm not full-time with Lucas, and, you know, was never full-time with any racetrack, and... I'm in sales, outside sales there in Indiana, and then do good with that. And that's I've got a flexible schedule, and things work out good with that. And that's probably a customer right now.
Might be. Always working.
Wanting to place an order. But no, I mean, it gives me the freedom to go out, and as long as my sales stay up, which they have been, and you know, I can go out and do this kind of stuff. You know, sometimes we have to leave on Wednesday night to get to the track for the weekend, but. Just thoroughly enjoyed it. And anybody, there's so many videos anymore. DirtOnDirt.com, you know, of course, Lucas Oil Racing TV. However, I would go on there if I was somebody young starting out and do turn the sound down and do your own deal. Don't try to copy somebody. Don't try to copy me.
Just be you,
Tony.
Just be yourself. Yeah.
Whoever else out there. Just be yourself. You know, come up with some catchphrases maybe once in a while, but. You know, I try not to overkill it. Nicknames sometimes, there's some great nicknames in dirt late model racing, as you well know. And I just try to, you know, there's some people that have come up with kind of some new stuff that, you know, I'm not really sure. You know, so I just kind of stay away from that. But it's just a tremendous sport, this dirt late model racing. It's grown so much over the years.
Yes.
I mean, when I started, they were running Chevelles and Fords and, you know,
you couldn't tell
Camaros,
a hobby stock and a late model back then.
Exactly right. I mean, they had the 18-inch wide tires, you know, and all this, and stock bodies, and now it's what it's. I mean, these are fabulous-looking race cars. I mean, much respect to the sprint cars. Love them. Love watching. Of course, growing up in Indiana, you know, it's really the non-wing capital of the world. I mean, it has been for a long time. They run a great show there at various tracks there, and the USAC Sprint Week, of course, is just a well-known thing all over the country, and. I always have a lot of people for that, but you know, I love the wings. It's just great, and of course Steve Kinzer, you know, followed him for years, and there's just so many guys, you know, growing up outside of Columbus. You know, Tony Stewart was born there. Tony, you know, he was born in the same hospital. I always tell people. I mean, he's a little bit young, just a little bit younger than me.
A little bit.
So, I mean, Tony, I mean, he first came to Brownstown back in the mid '90s, and he was running the USAC. He was starting in the IRL stuff, and. Before he went to NASCAR, and he came and won a feature one night at Kenny Simpson Memorial Brownstown, and that was his first ever late model win in 1998.
And there was a certain man behind the booth there, I believe, on the microphone for that one.
That's exactly right. That was fun, and you know, he was just starting out. I mean, people locally knew of him.
Right.
You know, he started in go-karts there, and then he transformed the TQ midgets, and then you know to what he did, but. He's, you know, I've known him a long time, good friend, and help him, you know, he wants me to do Eldora, and I do the Dream in the World, and Dustin, Jared, and I, you know, teaming up for that, and it's just a great team they have there to work with.
Now, we're going to play a quick game here real fast.
All right.
And it's going to be first word that comes to mind when I say a name.
Okay.
Now, these first two can't be the obvious ones. So I'm going to say, other than sprint cars, when you think Knoxville.
When I think Knoxville,
Yes.
Can I give a name? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, the first thing comes to mind.
Well, obviously Steve Kinzer. I mean,
Okay.
Steve and Carl Kinzer. I mean, you got to go with them. I mean,
Okay.
as far as when I think of Knoxville, now today, obviously Donnie Schatz is. What does he won that thing like 20 years in a row or something?
It feels
Seemed
like a decade.
I think Tim Schafer was the only guy to beat him in the last 25
Oh,
years.
and the
it seems
Big Cat, don't forget
and
about
the
that.
Big Cat. Don't forget about the Big Cat. But, I mean, that's a great event. I mean, I have never been able to have the opportunity to come out here because we're always at Florence that weekend. The North-South is always that weekend, and that's a packed house. But love to come here once maybe and just to sit there and watch all this take place. What an extravaganza. What a great place this is for that.
All right, next one for you.
Yes.
One more response here. Other than the obvious, can't say late models. Eldora.
You got to use more than one word. I mean, Earl Baldus.
Okay, Earl.
I think that basically covers it right there. I mean, the guy that built the place promoted it for years. Tony bought it in '04, and Tony's picked up on the tradition and the heritage there, and he knows what it's all about. I mean, you just can't have anybody come in here that's got money and just buy something and expect it to be. He's made improvements. He's done this and that, and increased the purses for the drivers and expanding things out to 3 days now. But just a tremendous job he has done. But yeah, Earl Baldus. I mean, there'll only be one Earl Baldus. just like here, Ralph Capitani.
Yep.
I mean, that guy there. I got the pleasure to know him when I come here for the late model nationals, and those two guys there, Earl Baldus and Ralph. I mean, there'll never be another one like those two. And God rest their souls. They're just tremendous what they did for the sport of sprint car and late model racing.
They just got it.
Yeah.
They just got
Yeah.
it. So, okay, I put you on the spot one last time here. All-time single greatest moment in your broadcasting career so far? Tough one, I know.
Gotta be when Berkey won here in 2014.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. We thought he was saying goodbye.
Getting a chance to do the Winter Circle interview, which is obviously on YouTube forever, and has been circulated around Facebook or whatever.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's probably one of my favorite moments there. And I know Brian a long time, and I remember when I worked at Brownstown trying to get him. I mean, nobody even knew about him.
Yep.
Out there in Muscatine, and his white 15B and all this, and his dad, of course, used to race. And
Tuxedo suit.
You go down the line, and just a tremendous guy. And we did an interview with him a while ago for Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Facebook, and it was just tremendous. And the guy there, I mean, that was such an emotional deal because I honestly, this is it.
Yep.
This may be it. I mean, we may never see him again. And then 4 years later, he's back.
He's back, and he wins a heat last night.
Wins the heat. He's unbeaten in this car that he's got, this Black Diamond for Jason Round. He won a heat at Mansfield. He won a couple there, and he won at Eldora last week in a heat race for the world, and before the rain, and he won here last night in a heat race. So, I mean, just much respect to that guy.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
just for what he's done for racing in the state of Iowa, and he's just an icon.
Now, if he does pull off the win Saturday night, might have a couple "Are you serious?" calls on that one. This place is going to go crazy.
Oh, I don't blame him. I mean, they've been waiting on this for 4 years for him to come back, and in our interview that I did with him, he said, I mean, he basically he stayed in touch a little bit the last 4 years. He drove for Justin Kai, a couple years ago, and he drove for Jason Round this year 4, 5, 6 times already. And he just basically he don't even look at the Dirt on Dirt videos, none of that.
Yep.
He just hears what people tell him and all this other stuff. So, but now he's back in it and he's loving it. He's not having to foot the bill.
Nope.
He don't have to drive the rig. He don't have to pay he don't have to write a check come Monday to pay off people, but pay the bills, and it's just a great relief, I'm sure, to him and his family. And his family's growing up; they're getting bigger. The boys are Cruz and Creed and Alyssa and all that, and they're all behind him, and I think we'll see more of him next year.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we got one more night of racing to go yet, and have some fun tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to get this thing going tonight.
Yeah.
You guys are on Lucas Oil TV tonight, so...
Well, no, Dirt on Dirt tonight, Lucas Oil TV tomorrow night.
Saturday night, right? So
you did a great job last night. I want to compliment you. We sounded good on theirs. Somebody thought you were actually Dustin Jarrett for a while there. You were that good.
Dustin, if you're watching this, don't do that.
That's a good comment.
That's a great comment. I'm not taking... Yeah.
I mean, much respect to DJ.
Absolutely.
And Ben did a great job, and everybody it really meshed well, and... I guess Tony B will be here Saturday night, but I don't know.
What's it going to take to get Dustin up here one time?
I don't know. He was bear hunting 2 weeks ago. He missed Tyler County. How do you miss Tyler County
I don't
for
know.
Hillbilly 100? I mean, that's basically his home track.
Right.
Yeah, and he worked with me at Eldora last week, and I guess he got home out of the rain, and I don't think he was stuck in the parking lot or anything. But
Are we sure he saw it there at the track?
I think
You might still be there.
he may be having some toilet water today. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I mean, I know he'd want to come. He'd love it. I mean, it'd be great to have him out here. But you did a great job, and I was really impressed. And let's do it again tonight.
Hey, as we do every night, get the fist pump
Yes,
going.
sir.
All right, guys, we'll catch you guys later. James Essex, the voice of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series.